Hey, honey,
Yes, Barry?
let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler, and I'm just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination, and maybe it's even yours. That's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants here. Those are the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant on the famous Los Muertos Beach, and then there's the El Dorado Restaurant and Beach Club right next door. So you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night in beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Seated with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. This week we are going to be going to a couple places. We're going to Kelly's Por Favor Saloon and Cookhouse. We're going to be hearing from a couple of friends of the show who were kind enough to stop by and tell us what they were doing in Paradise. I'm going to give a little bit of a review of my stay in Paradise. I'm going to go and talk a little bit about what happened over at the Rio Horcones. They had a big music festival over there, and I had a chance to talk to a friend of ours too. But before we get to all of that, let's see what's happening this week in Puerto Vallarta, the 20th of January, 2020. The Puerto Vallarta Garden Club is having their annual gala tomorrow, January 21st, called Fiesta Tropical. Let's read from our friend David Muck over at the Vallarta Garden Club. He writes in the Banderas News, this year we're having Fiesta Tropical, January 21st, 2020 at Oscar's Restaurant. We invite you to attend this party to support continued beautification of Puerto Vallarta. Have a wonderful time with friends and enjoy one of the best parties of the season. This is our largest event of the year. Sells out early. It sells out year after year. So get your tickets early. So hopefully there'll be a couple tickets left for you guys. It says also for your convenience, you can both renew your membership and purchase gala tickets using your credit card through the new Garden Club website. I have a link to that in the show notes, and of course I have a link to that article in the Banderas News as well. You'll find that at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. Check it out tomorrow if you're in town, January 21st. Again, it's at Oscar's, right at the tip of Quale Island. Tunnel Road Barbecue in Puerto Vallarta had its grand opening, and it was a great success. Jimmy has expanded the menu as well as expanded the restaurant. Next door to where they used to be is where their new place is. So they're still there. And it's just, the space is twice the size of their first spot. So check it out. I have pictures in the show notes. And Jimmy is also giving barbecuing lessons. So if you'd like to learn a little bit about barbecue in Paradise, he can do that for you. Like their Facebook page and just keep on top of what's happening over at Tunnel Road Barbecue over in Colonia Lopez Mateo, right over on the other side of the Libramiento. Check out the neighborhood. Check out the barbecue over there. Learn how to barbecue like a pro in Paradise. So congratulations to you, Jimmy and Frankie. Great place. Great barbecue. Check them out. They have extended hours for the Puerto Vallarta to El Tuito bus route. During high season, of course, it brings some larger demand for expanded bus schedules. And so that last bus leaving El Tuito to Puerto Vallarta will now leave that stop over in El Tuito at 9 in the evening. And the last bus going from Puerto Vallarta to El Tuito leaves a stop over there at Aguacate and Carranza at 10:30 at night. So the new hours, I've got them posted in the show notes, and great to have some extended hours so you can go to and from that cool little town up in Las Montañas. I noticed that they stopped handing out plastic bags over at the markets, over at the Oxos and so forth over in Puerto Vallarta. It's about time, if you ask me. They were crap. They were so darn thin. You needed like 3 of them in order to hold one bottle of soda. So whatever. Good riddance to those things. And those of you who are a little bit afraid, a little bit worried that you didn't bring your tote bags, do not worry. They have some great tote bags over at Lay. Go over to Lay Supermarket when you walk in the door. And as you walk in, you will see a display, a selection, in fact, of different kinds of bags that you can purchase. Some of them are, biodegradable, they're good size, and they're cheap. It's cheaper than going, around to the different curio stores and having to buy a cloth bag. So check those out. It's great prices, like I said, great selection. Go over to Lay's. I had a chance to talk with our friend Edgar Rivas about his upcoming Ceviche and Aguachile Festival. Talk with him all the time, and he's got some great news for us. It's coming up next weekend, actually the weekend after this coming weekend, January 26th, just one day over at Parque de los Azulejos. It's going to be from noon until 8. So let's hear what Edgar has up his sleeve. Let's go right now to the rail overlooking Olas Altas. We're sitting at restaurant Tuna Azul. Let's have a beer and some lobster tacos, and let's talk with Edgar. And, I call him Mr. Festival, Edgar Rivas. It's Edgar Rivas again with us today. How you doing, Edgar?
Everything okay, Barry? Such a pleasure to meet you here in Puerto Vallarta, and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you, too. You guys got a big rainy day on New Year's Day, didn't you? 5 inches or something like that.
See, it was like 1st January, a very rainy day.
Yeah.
Interesting, but, next days, and far it's very sunny and very, very good weather now.
That's right. All you Canadians, head on down here. It's freezing up there. Come on.
See.
All right,
we have some time. We're still getting in the nice weather now.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and it's not humid. It's just right. Tell us a little bit about this Aguachile Festival coming up.
Well, we have the 9th edition coming at the end of January. It's actually 26th of January. Will be this 9th edition. I'm very happy because this project has been growing every year. That's the reason why we organize the event twice a year, January and July. Remember, guys, that's why we always have 2. So it's interesting because now we're having the 14 restaurants participating.
Wow, 14.
See, so we're having lots of ceviche and aguachile in this edition. So, and the main thing, of course, is to invite all the people to come to Lázaro Cárdenas Park right here in Old Town area. Get close and take a look in all the restaurants, all the stands we're having, because it's very interesting the mix all the chefs, all the restaurants are doing at this moment, because it's not like the traditional recipes as it used to be. So now there's new ideas, new ingredients, fruits, some other things. It's an interesting experience. So the most important is to share the taste of Puerto Vallarta and not even the gastronomic culture from our city.
Exactly. So who's participating this year?
This year we are having people from, for example, here in Old Town, we're having Tuna Azul, of course. We're having also Capitán Cajún, Cuates y Cuetes, Punta Arena, which is a new restaurant in Fluvial area, Cava, close to Macro Plaza, Pata Salada, right in the beginning of Malecon. Bocamar is another new restaurant. It's located also in Fluvial area, close to the Costco. La Mara, classic from Puerto Vallarta. La Mara, one of the most famous seafood restaurants in Vallarta, in Versalles area. Monos Bichi also. Versalles, I don't know, guys, if you ever went to Versalles neighborhood in Puerto Vallarta. It's interesting. I totally encourage you to next time to come to Vallarta to visit this area. It's it's a local neighborhood, but there's a lot of restaurants going now, opening. You have La Mara, then you have Monos Bichi. It's also a seafood restaurant.
Yeah.
But the style is from Sinaloa state. So a little bit from different recipes. So they have also ceviches and aguachile, of course. But it's totally different way how they cook it, the ingredients. And, of course, at the end, the last touch, I'm getting...
He's getting hungry. Here, have a napkin.
Exactly.
Wipe up.
So the idea is to invite different restaurants, and not even these people from Sinaloa. They have totally different style to cook, and not even to prepare these ceviches, aguachile. So it's interesting. We have also Rey del Mar from Bucerias. You also have some people coming from Bucerias. So it's nice because all people, because we try to promote the festival all around the bay, Banderas Bay. So then we always like to bring people from Sayulita, Bucerias, Nuevo Vallarta, and not even if it's restaurants from that area. It's interesting also, the participation.
Yeah, people get a chance to see what it's like right here in the Lázaro Cárdenas Park, which is really great too.
Exactly.
All right, so what are the hours? What is the date?
We start from 12 noon until 8 p.m. So will be, as always, free entrance. So you guys are all welcome to come, take a look, come to the park. We will have all different canopies all set up in the park. So the idea is like for you guys to come, take a look all the recipes they have, because it's all fresh. They cook it right at the moment. So it's nice. We are having also the tables, chairs. We're having some food area.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So people can actually sit down and eat it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Of course, we'll put some shade. Then it's a little bit more fresh because now it's getting a little bit hot. The next day today it was
a little warm. Yeah, it was a little warm.
So we're having also tables, chairs for all have a seat, and very interesting also craft beer from Puerto Vallarta.
Oh, good.
We're having two special guests. One from Puerto Vallarta, which is Indecente Brewery. Local from Puerto Vallarta, interesting. And Barrio Chico from Guadalajara, which is another interesting brewery, who's having interesting different black IPA, porter, pale ale. They also have some American pale ale with CBD oil.
Really?
And porter with CBD. So
look at that.
Flavors.
See, you can get cured two different ways with that kind of stuff. Look
exactly.
at you, man. All right.
Interesting. It's a curious, very interesting taste at the end. So, the idea is to put all these things together, not also the food, also some craft beer. We're having also, or very special as always, raicilla stand with craft cocktails. We have some mixologies doing some very, very good cocktails using raicilla and mezcal, of course. So it's always to promote what we have here in Vallarta, craft beer, raicilla, and not even all the food we have here in the Bay. Mm-hmm. So, it's a interesting Mexican folkloric party, no?
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be 2 days?
It's only one day.
Or just one day?
Only one day, Sunday 26th.
Okay.
So
make sure you hit it that day. You're going to have music?
We're having some live music, of course. We're having DJ playing some Latin rhythms.
Good.
Cumbia, of course, for all you guys to dance. Of course, you need to eat, have a drink, dance a little bit. And some other different live shows. Folkloric ballet, the Hawaiian ballet.
Uh-huh.
It's always part of the event.
Yes, that's right.
And some other different artists. We're still trying to... close the
deal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, then we have some live music shows and, of course, all the food, not even all the craft beer, cocktails. We're also having dessert, not even fresh water, natural fruit water, Mexican, and with some nieve, snow cones, but artisanal snow cones, pies, very good. So also a little bit of dessert, drinks, a little bit of everything.
It's everything. All right.
Everything in one place.
All right. So everybody, make sure that you go down there. It's going to be Sunday the 26th.
Yep. Sunday 26th.
And, get on down there and see what's going on. Before we forget here, I want to thank the folks over here at Tuna Azul for letting us set up our microphones and have this talk. I understand Tuna Azul was a winner a couple of times, yeah?
Yeah, 3 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's kind of funny that we happen to be here, huh?
Well, yeah, it's interesting because when you told me you were here, so I said, no, it's perfect location because, yeah, Tuna Azul is one of the oldest sponsors we're having in the festival. This is the 9th edition of the festival, but for Tuna Azul will be the 7th edition. So basically they will be on board on this project during all this time.
Right.
And basically the last 3 festivals, they won the award for the best ceviche and aguachile recipe in Puerto Vallarta because we also have like a contest. During the festival, we have a contest. So we have like, I always invite 5 different people, 5 judges, which is different chef from universities in Puerto Vallarta, some other personalities from our city. So we take a walk on the festival. So all these restaurants, they give us a little sample of their best ceviche or aguachile. So based on that, they qualify different aspects. So, we only do the mathematics promedium. So we say, okay, in this edition, so Tuna Azul is very good because the recipe they have is montadito de atún, which is little cubes of tuna, fresh tuna, with avocado, on tostada avocado, red onion, and they marinate the tuna with special recipe from the house. So it's very interesting, it's tasty for sure. So that's why they won this award for 3 consecutive editions.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes, but people are going to be gunning for them, that's for sure, right?
See, but it's a good chance for you guys to join us and live the experience. Very interesting.
Excellent. Edgar, thanks again for coming on the show. Thanks for telling us all about what's happening, and thanks for doing what you do. It's a pretty cool event.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to share with all the tourists who are coming every season to Puerto Vallarta, if it's the first time or not, if it's all a few years coming to our city. But it's always, I always try to put something new on different activities and not even in the gastronomic area. So you guys are always welcome. So join us January 26th, Lázaro Cárdenas Park in Old Town area.
Hours again?
12 noon until 8 p.m.
Right on. Edgar, thanks, man.
Thank you, Barry. See you soon.
All righty then. Thank you, Edgar. I have all that information in the show notes. Make sure you don't miss the event. Again, it's January the 26th from noon until 8 o'clock, just one day, so don't miss it. Okay, so there was a big celebration. We talked about it last week. It was over at the Rio Horcones Canyon, and it was a great success, according to the planners of the event. I was told that approximately 400 people came through that music festival over the 5-hour-long celebration. The weather was perfect. And, it was really nice to be back at Chico's Paradise after such a long time. I hadn't been there in years. The river was flowing. The music was fantastic. They had a cliff diver there. And then, of course, they had people who were speaking about the Rio Horcones and the surrounding canyon and the fact that we need to preserve this place and protect it from, building dams and from just, building anything, really. You know what I mean? They had singing, they had eating. There was a donation box where you could donate to the cause. So that we could keep it up and keep up the awareness of the locals as to what is going on there. And it was just beautiful, just such natural beauty at that place. If you've never been to Chico's Paradise, it's on the way up to El Tuito. It's on the way up to the Botanical Garden. You just take that bus that goes to El Tuito and the Botanical Garden. And when you get on, you just ask the driver, hey, I'd like to get off at Chico's Paradise, and he will let you off there. And then, of course, to get back, you do need to stand near the parking lot area to flag down a bus to come back the other way. I have to tell you, it's not that easy to flag one of those guys down on the way back. But on the way up, Easy peasy to stop there. And if you wanted to stop over at Chico's just to, get a bite and then continue on to El Tuito or to continue on to the Garden, that's an easy stop for one of these bus drivers. It's just that the stop coming back down the hill is really hard. They have to cross Highway 200, and it's just a little tricky. So, but at any rate, I took an Uber with all that talk of the bus. The Uber was about 330 pesos, so it was a little bit steep, about $18, I guess, US. But I was on a limited schedule, so I just needed to be able to get there quickly from I had an interview before I went over there. So, whatever. It's the life. It's the life of a very, very busy podcaster. Anyway, people were dancing, they were eating and drinking, and they were taking in, like I said, all that natural beauty. And I made a lot of new friends. I also ran into somebody that I actually been trying to catch up with and have on the show. So, of course, that was part of my evil plan, to get as many interviews as I could in one spot. And so I did. So let me bring her on right now. Let's meet my buddy, Hannah Brady. All right, who am I speaking with now?
Hannah Brady.
Hannah, I've been wanting to talk to you for a while. It's kind of nice to be here at the festival. Who are you here with?
I'm here with my best friend Lindsay, and we're going to watch my friend Stoli perform a set.
Oh, all right. Very good, very good. So tell us about what you do here in Puerto Vallarta.
So I came here 2 or 3 years ago to get a job as a singer and have been pretty much since day one performing in jazz bars and producing my own shows as a headliner. So I perform in various theaters as a jazz vocalist in one show, and then pretty much all of my other shows have evolved into like versatile diva, soul, like big band kind of stuff. And I kind of just go where the wind takes me, and I also teach voice lessons and dance classes here.
Okay, so you found something to do while you're in Puerto Vallarta, didn't you?
1 or 2 things.
Now, what was your path? What led you here to Puerto Vallarta? Where are you from, first of all?
I'm originally from a small town in New Jersey called Lambertville. And to be honest, I came here with a man that I was dating for a couple of years. We moved here together because he got a job offer. And I was like, well, where you go, I go. So I didn't know anybody here other than him and one of our mutual friends. And I didn't know anything about the town. I had never heard of it. And I was just like, well, I have to make it work. So I went and looked for work. I built everything from the ground up. I had to just get help from strangers.
Okay, wow. Amazing. So are you here? Are you a permanent resident, or, where do you travel around? What do you do?
Well, it's like I've turned into a snowbird because I'm still a production singer in cruise ships, which is my main source of income. So I'll do like several months with a cruise ship company or a regional theater or an international production, because that's what I was doing when I met the boyfriend who I moved here with. So I haven't stopped doing that. And originally I was in the New York scene. So basically I'm here when I'm not on ships, especially in high season. And then I'll go do a ship, or I'll go do, I'm applying for regional theaters back in the United States. And I will probably end up at either, I actually haven't decided, but I might spend the summer working in Las Vegas. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. So that's kind of like leaving the hot and humid for the hot and dry. So you're going for the hot and dry.
Yeah, I'd rather have hot and humid, honestly. It's better for the voice, and I like living by the water, honestly. Puerto Vallarta gave me the bug, and I love being in the mountains and things like that. So yeah, it's got a little bit of everything for me, but only for short periods of time in the winter.
Where are the places that you perform?
Let me see. So one of the first places I performed actually was Jorge Dow had an establishment called the Jazz Foundation. I literally walked in, asked to meet the manager, and that's how I met him. And I asked him if I could sing there, and he gave me a job. I also performed at Encanto. I still perform there now. I've performed at Act 2. I've performed at Nacho Daddy, which is like my other home. Nacho Daddy and Encanto are kind of like my two home bases. They're really lovely people, and I like all the causes that are there involved with there, and they make me feel really welcome, really loved. And then other than that, I mean, I have performed at like corporate events. I've picked up jobs like for private parties. I've even been hired just to go in and sing Happy Birthday as like a classical singer and do little things like that. And I'm starting to, like the show that I'm in right now, Girls Night Out, is I'm choreographing that as well. So yeah, I'm performing and teaching all over the Bay. I've performed in La Cruz. I've performed in Ajijic. Yeah, it's a lot. It's just a lot of scattered dates for me. It's really exciting.
Wow, well, a lot of people, they all try to figure out how they can, come down and, leave the rat race and come to paradise and, make a living. But you got to have, like, talent, right?
Yeah, well, there's a lot more to it than talent, honestly. I mean, talent is just a small fraction of it. I think, honestly, it's more important for people to have good people skills. Because I know people who have come here and crashed and burned because they weren't nice. Or the opposite, they're very talented and they're okay, but they know the right people. So I'd say, like, if there was like a magic formula, I still haven't figured it out. But it's kind of like things like these. Like, if you want to make a living, it's not the same as in New York, where you go to a formal audition, you go to formal workshops, they give you a job, and then you go and do the job. Here, the way that I found the most work and the most ticket sales was being out and about, being nice to people, making contacts, following up with people, and just, like, also more importantly for me is to be a part of a community. I'm from a small town where it's important to do stuff like this, like support a cause or go donate some time at a dog shelter. Like, that's what I stand for. And so I would rather have a small audience who knows me as a person than just some people who want to see me wear beautiful costumes for 5 minutes. I want to be part of a family and a community. So I think that's probably one of the most important things to make a living here, is to be present. Don't just be hiding in your apartment on the computer all the time and expect to sell tickets or get jobs.
Yeah, well said. All right, now let's leave your career here and let's move on over to Puerto Vallarta. Let's talk a little bit about food.
Okay.
Now, you are very fit, so I'm guessing you eat well, right? All right, so let's talk about your favorite breakfast, lunch, and dinner places in Puerto Vallarta. What's your favorite breakfast spot to eat?
Dang. Well, I have to be honest, I don't go out to eat much because I like to save money, but the pancakes are pretty unbeatable at Freddy's. I really like the pancakes there. Also, Encanto used to have a really good Eggs Benedict. I don't know if they still do that, but breakfast is my favorite meal. And honestly, I really like the taco stands around town. I'd say I really love the Barracuda and like El Solar's. I'm a ceviche person, so El Solar and La Tradicional have like the best ceviche in town. So good. Such a great ambiance. It's like exactly what you want out of a beach day. They've got a beautiful view of the bay, beautiful view at sunset. And I've had the food at La Traviata at sunset, and it's like unbeatable. I also really like that Nacho Daddy has a really good burger, and I like to get it without the fries. I get it with a salad, and then I just mush my burger and my salad together and make a giant burger salad. Yeah, because then, I can have my burger and eat it too. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the mix that I do, and then I also drink a lot, so there.
Yes, all right. So what's your favorite bar?
My favorite bar? I can't pick just one bar. Oh, dang, there's so many good ones.
Pick 3.
3 favorite bars. Well, I'm a big fan of live music. I tend to enjoy going... I like El Solar just for drinks. There's also some places in the Glorias. There's a bunch on Paseo Badillo. You know, like the place with that big tree with the lights in it on Paseo Badillo. What's it called? Margarita something or other. That place has really good margaritas. I like to go places where I can people watch. if I want to go for like a classy cocktail, I go to Garbo's, you know, if I want to spend a little more. Signature Lounge. They have a great happy hour, and you can overlook the bay. Literally, last time I was there, I could see a manta ray jumping out in the bay. It was insane. It was so far away. Places like that. Because for me personally, it's something I struggle with here. No offense, but like I can't stand cigarettes, and so I try to go places where the cigarette smoke isn't too bad. Places that are really enclosed, it's hard for me. I just can't deal with the cigarettes. So yeah.
All right. Well, you're normal. If you had a word of advice for a first-time visitor to Puerto Vallarta, what would it be?
Oh, I would say, no one's going to agree with me, but I think it's way more important than people think to learn a little Spanish. Because it's not like you can't get by on English. You totally can. That doesn't mean you should. I feel like the locals who have found out that I speak Spanish feel so much more comfortable with me on a personal level because I can speak beyond like rudimentary basics. And I find that they appreciate it and they feel appreciated as well because I'm appreciating that I'm in a foreign country that's not mine. And that would be something I'd say, like, it's not dire, you don't have to, don't feel guilty. But I think people who live here for more than 2 or 3 weeks, like, you should be learning more than the basics. I think it's like a sign of respect.
What place here in Puerto Vallarta has the best acoustics for your voice?
Oh, good question. I've sang at the Palm before, and I like it there. I have to say, the best sound tech makes the difference. It's not necessarily the building. And 2 sound tech guys I really love, Santiago at the Palm and Craig at Nacho Daddy. I've worked with lots of great guys, and I'm not spitting on anyone else, but they're my 2 favorites because they make my voice the best. Nacho Daddy and the Palm probably. And Encanto's a close third.
Excellent. Very good. Is there anything I'm missing? You have a Facebook page? You have like a fan page?
I do. I don't have. I got rid of my Facebook fan page because I don't like it. But I have an Instagram, which is Hannah A. Brady, and my website is hannaabrady.com. And you'll find links there to my YouTube, which is also Hannah A. Brady. And then Girls Night Out actually has a Facebook page, which is Girls Night Out PV. I really like sending people to my website because I have an email list, and I really want my Puerto Vallarta community to start signing up on there because then I can send them more specific, clean information about all of my stuff instead of it all being all on social media all the time. But yeah, I'm very. I don't know if everybody knows, but I have my hand in a lot of different plates, and I have trouble letting everyone know what I'm doing. So follow me on social media, follow my website, because you never know where I'm going to end up next. I'm all over the place.
Great. Well, I'm glad that I found you in this place, and what a beautiful place it is, and what a great celebration of the Rio Jorcones Canyon. Thanks for talking with me today, Hannah. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Barry. I appreciate you taking the time. It's nice to talk to you.
All right. Thanks, Hannah. I really liked Hannah, don't you? I have her contact information in the show notes. I have some photos of her as well, so check that out. And next time you're in Paradise, check out one of her shows and listen to her lovely voice. I also understand that there are plans afoot. As a matter of fact, I got an email just recently that they're going to have another music festival in honor of the Rio Jorcones Canyon and the Rio itself. And it's planned for, up till now, it's planned for June the 6th of this year. So if you're going to be in town, make your plans right now. Mark your calendars for June the 6th. And in the next couple of weeks, I'm actually going to bring you some more people and some more of these interviews that I did while I was at this festival. I talked with some great people. And then we're going to be talking about that dam on the river. We're going to be talking about other issues that are facing Boca de Tomatlan. This is that little town at the mouth of the Great Jorcones River. These are things that need to be addressed, and I had a great opportunity to meet people who will be able to talk about these issues. They're coming up in the next couple weeks, so please stay tuned for that. All right. Now, as I said earlier, this was a short stay to Puerto Vallarta, and I can explain that. First of all, and I've never done this, I missed my flight. I missed my flight on Monday the 6th out of Los Angeles. My fault. Everything was my fault, really, in the end, although the traffic was awful. I can blame it on the traffic. I was flying out Alaska Airlines. It was Monday morning, rush hour traffic. My flight was at 10:45. And, lately LAX has also been kind of a total mess. The taxis and the ride-share services, they've been pushed out of the airport. Nobody knows what's happening. This, when my flyaway bus got to the terminal, it took them 45 minutes to get from one end, like Terminal 1, all the way to the other end, where I was, over at Alaska Airlines. Anyway, I went to go check in my bag, and it said, no, you can't check in your bag. Go find somebody. And I went, oh, geez, I'm too late. I missed my flight. It was, awful. It's just an awful feeling. Anyway, they went over to a guy, and he says, oh, yeah, when's your flight? Where you going? Yeah. Oh, go get in line over there. So I shuffled over to the line, and they basically told me to go pound sand. I had one of those tickets that are not refundable. So I did my best to shake off that disappointment, and I sat down and I started looking for a cheap flight into Puerto Vallarta, one way, to get me at least down there. I had my return ticket still, hadn't missed that flight yet, and I found one for $180. It was a red-eye. It left LAX at 1 in the morning, landed in Houston, then a 4-hour layover in Houston, and then Houston to Puerto Vallarta, arriving Tuesday afternoon at 2 p.m., and, of course, I had a meet and greet on Tuesday at 5:30. So I took that flight, and it was a little tough, but the meet and greet was at 5:30, and I landed. I dropped off my luggage at the Airbnb, and then I took some stuff that I had muled down for some of my buddies. I met them over at a local bar and dropped that off. Christmas again in Puerto Vallarta for those folks. And then went back to my Airbnb, hopped in the shower, got dressed, and got ready for JR's meet and greet. And you know what? You're going to hear that meet and greet right now. But nope, before we get to that meet and greet, let's talk a little bit about the Airbnbs that I stayed at. I talked a little bit about them last week. The first one I stayed at was on the Malecon. It was the building called Malecon Uno. And I've stayed at that building a bunch of times, and I've always had very, very good units. They've got balconies that face the ocean. Those are a little bit more expensive, and then they have more economical units that don't have ocean views, but, small patios to sit on and read. Fairly quiet. But this was the first time that I had a room that actually, the window and the little balcony, whatever it was, about the size of a telephone booth. It was right over Calle Morelos, which is the busiest street that leads into town. And like I said, I think last week I talked about this, there was even a bus stop right underneath my window. So this was no bueno, you guys. This was loud. And not to mention the fact that there was construction going on in the building. It was tap, tap, tap. It was bang, bang, bang all day long, not to mention what was going on outside the window. And anyway, it did have good internet. I can tell you that. The bathroom was good size. It was clean. It was sufficient, of course. The bed was, it was a queen-size bed. It was very comfortable for a Mexican bed. This building has a rooftop pool, which is always nice, but during the day they were just whacking away at the at the cement up there, and you couldn't do anything up there. So the evenings, that was okay. They were done banging in the evenings, and it was kind of nice and a cool place to hang out. It's a great spot. It's central. You walk right outside, and you are on the Malecon. I mean, you've got one side, you've got the Malecon. To the other side, you've got an OXXO, and if that OXXO is too busy, right across the street from that OXXO, there's a Kiosco. It was totally centralized. It was so close to everything. You could walk to my favorite Italian restaurant over at D'Angelo, Napoli. The area was great. It was just that room was awful. Anyway, I have a YouTube video that I made, and I embedded it into the show notes. So you can go to the show notes there for this particular episode, or you can go to the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show YouTube channel, and you can see it there. Now, the second place that I stayed at was a great place, and it was in the Cinco de Diciembre neighborhood. It was up a little bit, up the street, up on Calle Bolivia, and on the corner of Bolivia and Honduras. It was roomy. It had a lovely wraparound balcony. It had 2 bathrooms. I never visited one of them. It had air conditioning, which I never used. It had ceiling fans in every room. It had a comfy bed. Great internet speed. The neighborhood was extremely quiet. It was exceptionally quiet. With the one exception of one evening, there was a neighbor across the street. He decided he wanted to do a brake job on his car, and he had an air wrench. So at 1 a.m, this guy is using his air wrench, taking on and off his tires. Only in Mexico, right? At any rate, I love this Airbnb. I hate to share it with you guys because it will be gone. I'll never be able to use it again. But I do have a video of it in the show notes. It came out to around $48 or so a night for everything. And not bad for high season. And like I always say, I love Airbnbs in Puerto Vallarta, even if they have a little bit of a challenge, just like that first one, that one behind door number 1. Earplugs worked really well. I was able to get a good night's sleep, even though it was loud at that first one. So don't let that dissuade you one bit. Get out there. Use the Airbnbs in Puerto Vallarta. They really are great. And by the way, if you are listening to this right now, give me a day to get everything up again in my show notes. I've been pretty busy in the real estate business. In Southern California, there is no season for selling real estate in Southern California. So I got home, and all of a sudden I got 3 listings. What can I tell you? I love that. Let's see here. As I was saying earlier, I did make it to Paradise in time to get to Kelly's Por Favor and Saloon and Cookhouse for that Tuesday, January 7th meet and greet. And you can always see JR every Tuesday over at Kelly's. He's there from 5:30 until 7:30 during the standard time. And then during daylight savings time, you can find him beginning at 6:30 for his meet and greets. And when he's there for you guys. Ask him a question. If you have any questions, if you want to share something with him, he's there to help out. So, as I promised last week, let's go right now to our meet and greet. Let's meet our meet and greet guests. We have Tom from Maryland, listener from Maryland, and we have our buddies from the orphanage in town, Rise, Refugio Infantil Santa Esperanza, Lisa and Billy. So let's go to the rooftop at Lázaro Cárdenas 245 at Kelly's Por Favor Saloon and Cookhouse, and let's meet the group, shall we? Tom, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Barry.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I live in Baltimore, Maryland, but I always remind my friends that I'm from Washington, D.C. I work for the federal government in Washington, D.C.
All right. So you're a listener. You're a listener to the show.
I've been a listener for about 4 years now.
All right. Well, good, because that's about as long as it's been. Otherwise, you're hallucinating. So is this the first time to Puerto Vallarta?
No, this is about the 6th or 7th trip.
All right. You've been here a bunch of times.
Yes.
All right. So tell us what is your technique? Where do you stay?
So my first experience, I was staying in the hotels. I stayed at. Is it okay to say the hotel?
Sure.
Okay, I'm a Marriott guy, so I would stay at a Marriott brand hotel. And for the first 2 or 3 trips, that's where I stayed, and I started listening to the podcast. And I'm a golfer, so the Marriott hotel was perfect because there's a golf course in walking distance at the marina. Okay. So that worked out. That worked out great, and we started inviting friends to come with us, and because they were hotel type folks, we decided just to stay at the Marriott because it was easier for them. The beach was right there, so that was convenient for them, so we were staying at the Marriott. The last couple of years, we started listening to the podcast, and we decided that we were going to branch out.
Good for you.
Our trips in Puerto Vallarta became longer, went from 7 days to 10 days. This time, we've been here for 14 days. So this time, there was no hotel stays. We did Airbnb for the whole 14 days.
You did, all right.
Yes.
So how did you find them? I mean, how is your Airbnb right now?
The Airbnb that we're in right now is perfect. It's in the romantic zone, but we kind of split it up. Like for the first 4 or 5 days, which included New Year's, it was a little bit easier to stay over at the 5th of December? Is that it?
Cinco de Diciembre.
Cinco de Diciembre. Yeah. Right, something like that.
Yeah, the Cinco de Diciembre.
So we stayed there, and I remember from one of your podcasts, you talked about a place called Captain Don's.
Yeah, Captain Don's.
So it just happened to be Captain Don's was a block away from the apartment that we were staying in.
Nice.
So it was just perfect. We walked to Captain Don's on the first night, and we just happened to meet someone that you actually also interviewed.
Yeah.
Bill and Amy Triplett.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Was it Green for Gringo, right?
Right,
so
right.
They came over and introduced themselves to us. So we stayed we went to hung out at Captain Don's, and then we went back to our apartment, and we came back the next day, and there was a band going on, and there was a party going on, and we just fit right in.
Yeah.
So we stayed there for 4 days, and then we moved over to a condo in the romantic zone for the last 10 days of our trip.
Good. Yeah, that's a good way to do it because you can get different tastes of the town, right?
That was great. And it worked out that way also.
Excellent.
Because I knew the areas that 5th of Cinco de Diciembre.
You're going to get it. I'm telling you, Tom. You're going to get it, brother.
I knew it's a little bit. That area will be a little bit different than the romantic zone.
Yeah.
So although we wanted to stay out of the hotels, we also wanted to stay in different areas around.
Good. So
Puerto Vallarta.
So what did you think? If you were going to go one or the other, did you have a favorite there?
Well, the place that we're staying at now, it's about a year old.
Okay.
So it's a fairly new building. So it's really no comparison. But the apartment that we stayed in the other area was nice. The people there were nice. The place was clean. It was very safe. Yeah. And we felt very comfortable walking in the area at night. So it served our purpose.
Excellent.
Right, it served our purpose.
All right. So since you started listening to the podcast, have you hit any restaurants that we've talked about?
Okay, so all right, let's see. Okay, tonight we're going to Archie's Walk.
Okay.
That was one of the places that you recommended. Like I said, Captain Don's. We went to Joe's Fish Shack.
Uh-huh.
I've been to Joe's Fish Shack 3 or 4 times because I like the red snapper there. We went to, you did a couple of weeks after, we were here in May also. We were here for Memorial Day for about 10 days. And a couple of months ago, you did an interview with the restaurant, is it Martini Un Fuego?
Yes, sir.
But we had been there before you did the podcast. And then when we saw the podcast, I was telling Bruce that that's the same place that we went to. And we plan on going back there on Friday also.
Oh, yeah. He does such a great job there.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. Looking forward to getting the lobster again.
Nice. All right. So when you went to Captain Don's, what did you order when you were there?
Oh, well, this is the funny thing about Captain Don's. We went 2 times. The first night we went there, they had ran out of buffalo wings. So we heard about their buffalo wings, right? And then the second morning we was there, and this was over the New Year's Eve, so I guess the food delivery places were closed, so they didn't get any chicken wings the night before. So they said, well, you got to come back the next day. I was like, oh, this place doesn't have any wings. So we finally came back on the third try, and the owner was there. We met her, and we met the
triplets.
And we met the triplets, and we met the bartender. And then we finally got our chicken wings.
Well, the bartender, that is the most important thing. And the chicken wings.
And we found,
All right, so were they okay?
We found, the chicken wings were excellent.
All
But
right.
we've had chicken wings at Captain Don's. We had them here today. We had chicken wings at a place called Steve's. And we had chicken wings at the Los Muertos Brewing Company.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
These today that we had here were spicier, spicier wings, right? And we like the sauce, so I like the sauce on the wings here. And Bruce, who's sitting right here next to me, who's
shy. He won't get on a microphone.
But he's a connoisseur of ribs.
Okay.
So everywhere we go, he tries out the ribs, and I'm telling you, he had the ribs here at Kelly's Por Favor, and there was no complaints.
Really?
They were perfect.
All right.
They were perfect. I know they were perfect because he didn't complain.
Because Bruce didn't say something to you. Have you done any trips? Have you gone out of town? Have you done any of that?
We did a 1-day trip to Sayulita.
Oh,
we
yeah?
did that the last time we were here.
Okay.
We've done about two times ago. We did the Rhythm of the Night. We're thinking about moving here. I got a couple more years to work, so we're trying to move away from being tourists.
Yeah.
Doing all the tourist things, but we've done some tours, the whale watching, the Rhythm of the Night, and those kind of things. We did the what are the rope things? The
zip lining.
Zip lining. We did that,
Yeah.
and we did the all-terrain vehicle thing. So we've done all.
So you've done it.
We've done all
it.
of that.
You've been there.
Right,
Now
right.
you're working on going native.
Right, going
Right?
native. But we
Yeah.
also realized that if we moved here, we have to. There's a lot of drinking and eating, so we're going to have to find something else to do on the side to keep us active in retirement.
That's right.
Yeah.
And, just keep listening to the podcast because
Yeah.
I've got all kinds of good things for you to do. Keep yourself busy.
Right. So
Because-
we realize that's important also.
Yeah, because if you come to this town and you just party, you'll be dead in 3
Yeah,
years.
exactly,
So
exactly.
you can't have that.
Exactly.
Right. We love you, Tom.
Right.
We can't
And
have you go.
Actually, in our condo, we actually cooked breakfast one time since we've been here.
You
we
did?
cooked dinner. So we're.
I'm sorry about that. You did that. No, I'm sure that you're a good cook. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, just, cooking in paradise for me is just. But
Yeah, I know.
if you're going to
Yeah.
go native,
Right.
you're going to have to cook.
Exactly.
You're gonna have to cook.
Right.
All right.
Exactly.
Excellent. All right. So you've been here a bunch of times. What kind of advice would you give to a first-time visitor to Puerto Vallarta?
Well, even with all the times that we've been here, and every time we walk out the door, we seem to find a new corner and a new street. So I just say to people, you have to get out and walk and experience this place. And like I said, every time we walk out the door, we turn a new corner and we say, well, I didn't even notice this street here. And we're trying to figure out the streets also, so we're learning that. But that's part of the experience.
Okay. Very good.
And the people are very friendly here. I'm trying to learn Spanish, and they laugh, but they know that you're trying to learn, so they're very helpful. And but the biggest thing is the people here are very, very friendly. They are really, really friendly.
Yeah.
Very friendly.
They are. They all want to help.
Yeah.
Gee, am I missing anything? Anything else you want to add?
Don't cheat your friends out on this experience. You got to invite your friends to Puerto Vallarta also. And we have friends that come with us on most of our trips.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Good idea. Don't cheat your friends. but
Because we spend a lot of time texting them back and forth on what we're doing while we're here. So
Okay,
you
all right.
need to experience it.
But he's into ribs, and he hasn't been to El Rio Barbecue yet.
Have you been to El Rio Barbecue, you guys?
No, I haven't. No, I've
No?
heard about El Rio.
Bruce, you got to
I
go,
heard about
brother. Okay, all right.
I've heard
Well,
about El Rio.
All right. Yeah, they've got the The Flintstone ribs, the big
Right.
Flintstone ribs, but they're pork ribs. They're not beef ribs. So
Right,
it's kind
okay.
of the big Flintstone
Right.
pork ribs. Yeah, you got to go check that out.
Right, El Rio.
Right, yeah,
Okay.
they're all right. They're all right.
Well, you run out of nights and days.
I know. That's the thing. And then and you can't always eat 3 meals a day.
Right, exactly.
You know?
Oh no.
And so if you did, we would all blow up.
That's
and-
right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
You have a favorite bar?
We let's see. There's a little bar right next to Archie's Walk, like the Chaca. That's just a simple little bar, but the people there are very friendly. We really like the Steve's bar, and we actually met some people there that were from the area that we live in Baltimore. So that was a good experience. And we generally go when we're down at the Romantic Zone. We go there for breakfast spots, though.
Yeah.
We have a favorite breakfast spot on the marina called Mr. Creams.
Tell us about Mr.
Yeah,
Creams.
Mr. Creams. Since we were staying at the Marriott for when we first time we came down here, we kind of fell in love with Mr. Creams. So if we eat breakfast while we're here, we at least go by Mr. Creams once or twice while we're here. I usually have it's a rancho, the beef. It looks like some kind of sauce. I don't know what it is.
Okay,
But
yeah.
it's really good, and I have it with the hash browns. And we also we ate at Coco's Kitchen for breakfast this morning.
Did you?
That's right. Went to Coco's Kitchen's right.
And you like Coco's?
Yeah, we like Coco's,
Yeah.
and we went to Bravo's a couple of nights ago.
Okay, so as far as how about a lunch place? You got a favorite lunch spot?
No, we kind
You
of
don't do that.
lunch.
You don't do that. You just do the breakfast and dinner.
Right, breakfast and dinner.
Okay, all right. How about coffee? You got a favorite coffee spot?
Well, I like my Starbucks. Well, there's a little shop, I can't think of the name of it, that's around the corner from where we're living at, and guy made some good coffee the other day. So I'm planning on going back to him
You're
a couple
going-
of more
yeah.
times.
You're gonna
pass up
Yeah.
Starbucks. I can get Starbucks when I'm home.
That's right, exactly. Mr. Starbucks.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll get
They're
over
doing
it.
okay.
They'll get
Absolutely.
over it. Yeah,
Absolutely.
They won't
Absolutely.
miss you. At
Absolutely.
least just for a day or two.
Right.
How about a bakery? You got a favorite bakery?
Oh yes,
or a place to get?
Yarritas.
Okay, Doritos. Okay, yes.
Yeah, we just like the experience of the bakery. Also, where you get the little tray and you go and pick out what you want and take it to the counter and they ring it up and we walk out with our baked goods.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And of course the cost of everything here is just unbelievable. Every time we go out to go someplace, we just stop comparing it to what we cost and what we have to pay for stuff at home. So yeah.
It's easier
Yeah.
on the pocketbook.
Yeah, it is much
Yeah.
easier.
It,
much
blo-
easier.
it blows Honolulu right out
Yeah.
of the
Oh
water.
yeah.
As a matter of fact. How about you have a favorite place to go out and get dessert
No.
other than Yarritas?
No, I'm not a big dessert kind of person.
No?
There's normally we're going out for dinner. There's no space for
Nothing
dessert.
left.
Right,
Nothing left.
exactly.
All right. Excellent. Well, Tom, it's been so much fun talking
Thank
with
you.
you today,
Thank you.
and I'm so excited to meet someone coming from Baltimore, Maryland, who listens to the show. I like that too. See, I can actually see. I can't see you, but I can see where people are listening. So I know we have all 50 states listen. But I appreciate your listening and coming to this meet and greet.
Thank you, and I look forward to every new episode. I go online and say, "Come on, bro, I get it. Where's the new episode?"
Yeah, I'm a little spotty.
But I know that hey, you have a real job.
Right, yeah, exactly. You nailed it. I'm glad my listeners understand that.
Yeah,
Every
I
once in a while, I
understand
can't get it out like
Exactly.
every time, right on
Exactly.
time.
Exactly.
Tom, you're the best. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming on. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
It's Lisa and Billy from Rise. How you guys doing today?
Awesome. Thank you.
Excellent.
Tell us what's going on. What's new at Rise?
There are a lot of good things happening at Rise. It's peak season, so we have a number of volunteers coming in, and we have some great programs taking place with music and art. We've had ballet dancers come in
Really?
and teach ballet. The kids have gone to the ballet at the Nutcracker. We had a fantastic holiday season with such generous donors and organizations bringing supplies, time, their own time, and gifts to the children at Rise. They were very blessed this Christmas season.
Wow, how wonderful is that?
Yeah, I would also add the kids put on a posada.
Really?
So they had their own little play of the birth of Jesus, and sang some songs, and we invited some of the donors in and stuff like that, and it was really a great joy to see the kids perform.
Nice, yeah. I heard that you have some new duties at Rise. Do you not?
Well, we were fortunate enough to be elected to the board this afternoon, in fact.
Wow.
So that's very exciting. We came back October 8th and have been probably at Rise every day, really helping them make some major progress in different areas. And I think the team there thought that this would be a good idea to bring us on in a different capacity.
Oh, that's wonderful! Wow. Usually what that means is that you got the short straw, but in this case, it's not the short straw. It's the long straw, right?
Right. You know what? It is really all about helping the kids, and just every day we're there trying to teach the kids English, working on maintenance projects. Working on nutrition in the kitchen with the kids, just really doing anything we can to help out around the house. And we really need is more volunteers to kind of help us. Again, whether it's doing maintenance, working in the kitchen, if you have any English skills or teaching skills, or even tutoring, there's just a lot of things that we need. We need help with, and the kids really need help with.
Okay, now how do they do that?
They can contact either Billy or I at billy@risepv.com or lisa@risepv.com, and we will hook them up with the right process. So we've actually created an electronic form. We kind of vet out our volunteers and ensure that they're
good.
They're good. I mean, we don't want to put our children in danger, and that's really the purpose of that. And just knowing who's coming, and if something was to happen to them on premise, we want to know who to contact. So those are kind of the basic things that we're hoping for in that form.
Okay, good. All right, so I'll have all that information in the show notes for this episode.
Great.
And is there anything else you wanted to add? Is there something else that's going on?
So I just wanted to say, first up, we had a fantastic fundraiser November 18th at the Palm. They did their opening night with for Rise. All the door donations. We had a raffle. We had a 50-50 raffle, and that was significant. And even the performers there have now offered to help us out on additional fundraisers this year. Kennedy Morgan donated half of his proceeds of his first show on December 16th to Rise, and that's a fantastic show. If anybody hasn't seen a medium, he's fantastic. It's a very good experience for, I think, anybody that wants to connect with somebody close to them that have moved on to the other side. And then we're very busy because we're trying to put together fundraisers January, February, March. We're looking to have a bazaar. We've been fortunate that SATAC has been able to help us with donations from the airport, and we're going to have a bazaar and sell those items along with things that we have at Rise that we're no longer using. We're putting on a dinner show at Fidencio's in February 16th. We have something in March, and also Deja Vu is, we're meeting with them tomorrow with the hope to have the fashion show in March help us support Rise. We're going to talk to them. We don't know if it's feasible, but maybe even have the kids be part of the fashion show and model some clothes that we can donate. Yeah. So we have lots of good ideas. Don't know all the ones that will stick. As you know, you throw them at the wall, but it just takes good people, which we have as a team, to kind of make these things happen.
Wow. Okay. All right. So you will keep me advised as these things happen, and I will tell everybody about them. So as they're coming to town, or if they're in town, they can participate.
Yes.
Right. That's the whole idea. All right. Well, anything else? Anything else that?
Okay. The only other thing I want to add, I feel like a proud parent. We never had kids, but we're proud parents. So the children are all going to school, some private schools, some public schools, and their average grade is now out of 10 and 8.5.
Whoa.
All of them. Like, that's phenomenal, and we're really proud of all the hard work they're doing and the progress they're making.
That's incredible. Wow. And very heartwarming, too,
Yes.
when you think about it. I mean,
Yes.
where these kids have come from and what they're getting right now, thanks to people like you. So thank you very much. And like I said, keep us informed, give me the information, and we'll get that out whenever it's happening.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Barry.
All right. Thank you, Lisa and Billy, and thank you, Tom. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but JR actually made a quick cameo during Tom's discussion. And we haven't heard from JR in a while, but I'm actually recording JR's life story. And anyway, I told him that he needs to stay alive long enough for me to finish it. So stick in there, JR. Just kidding. JR is doing fine. Remember what I tell you about getting your tours through JR? And he also tells me that he's been getting a lot of good calls. Thank you very much for that. And don't wait too long for some of the really, really very, very busy tours, especially the Rhythms of the Night tour. If you're planning on doing it, get a hold of JR, well in advance so that you can get the date and time that you want. All right? Oh, and by the way, if you do make a reservation with JR, make sure after you've made that reservation, if you don't receive an email right away, check in your spam box, because sometimes that's where emails go when they're coming from a foreign country. You know what I mean? So if that happens to you, check your spam box for sure, all right? And by the way, JR is turning 80 this year. He's going to be 80 this April. So we'll talk about that as the date approaches. All right. That should do it for this week. All right. Next week, stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, great restaurant excursion ideas, and more. But until then, remember, this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, well, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and send us your message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com, that's JR's website, and reserve your tour through him right from his website. Remember, this is a value-for-value proposition, my friends. His experience and on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you would do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you were going to use someone else, so do it, really. And when you do take one of those tours, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us Tour tab and send off a message. And don't forget, he's got his maps, his DIY tours, his revitalized happy hour board, and more. And I have links to all of those in the show notes. And once again, if you like this podcast, please take the time and subscribe and give me a good review on iTunes if you would. That way we can get the word to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with each episode I create. But if you haven't been to my website, you really need to have a look there. I've got links to the places we talk about. I've got interesting pictures and more right there in the blog posts and in the show notes for each episode of the show. So check them out for sure if you haven't already. All right? All right. So thanks to Edgar Rivas from the Apple Chili Festival, and make sure that you get there this coming weekend. Thanks to Hannah Brady. Catch her singing next time you're in paradise. She's easy on the eyes and easy on the ears. Such a sweetheart. Thanks so much for coming on the show. And thank you, listener Tom, and thank you, Bruce, for putting up with Tom. Tom, you don't know how much it means to me that you stopped by to say hello and to talk with us. Really, it really means the world to me. And, of course, Lisa and Billy, you guys mean the world to me, too. Thanks for filling us in on what's going on at Rise. Hey, make some time, next time you're in paradise, lend a hand at that fine orphanage. And, hey, thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler, signing off with the wish for you to slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino eterno por la playa, me encuentro junto al río cuando todo está en calma. Pronto cae la noche, me brillas Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.